Hey guys. All right, let's wait a couple minutes. See if we get more people. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Hi Barbara, Nita. Yeah, Connick's having a hailstorm.
Yes.
I'm trying to find my chat. Okay. Hey Mama Lisa. I feel bad for Connick. She's been listening to me for days. Like I still I'm so confused.
I mean, this case will take you down some dark roads.
Yeah. Come on, Kenny. We're waiting for you. You might be working. So, where do you guys think the mysterious Cleo sleeping bag is? Hi, my elderly cats. We're going to go back to the beginning, guys, because I'm so confused. A little bit of the beginning. Something's not adding up in my mind.
Maybe it will be good to go back and get a little refresher now that we have some hindsight. Hey, Jace.
Mama, it is so disturbing that I feel bad for my friends because they're like, if you don't shut up about this guy with his dolls, some people just don't understand. Hey, 59 Jace. Some people just don't get it. I'm like, well, you better listen because I could probably kill you and get away with it. I'm only kidding.
I can at least tell you 800 ways to kill me and not get away with it.
I'll tell you what, Mama, that makes a lot of sense because the day that it broke that Cleo was found, just the day before that, they were going through all of the garbage, remember? Up and down the highway. And they were checking the campfires. And I'm thinking, what are they looking for? Oh, they're looking for the sleeping bag and the fact that maybe the sleeping bag, Iconic said, got burned in a fire. Where's the sleeping bag? I'm confused. I'm confused. I keep going back to the fact that I can't imagine him. Let me go open up his picture and look at him again. He's so big and he's so kind of frumpy. And I'm not saying this in a negative way. And I got a couple nasty comments because I was laughing. I'm going to say it one more time. If I laugh because I'm discussing something that I cannot wrap my head around, that's how I handle it. So, people, please calm down. It's not the end of the world, okay? I'm not laughing at the fact that the guy took the kid. I'm laughing at the fact that, yes, I can't wrap my head around, and I can see it, him leaving the room and dressing up like he's Norman Bates, his mother. I can see it. I'm sorry. Can't be mad at me. It is what it is. Can't make it up.
Elderly cats, no, not in the car because they still haven't found it.
Let's just look at this man for a minute. I'm going to leave him on my screen for a minute. I feel bad for him. I still feel bad for him. Can you okay, let's just picture this. Okay. This man goes into which I know that he plays with dolls. I am convinced that he wears his grandmother's clothing. You can't I told Iconic, you can't convince me. I would go in front of a jury and say, with no evidence that he was wearing his grandma's clothes. Hey Angel. But I I've never wrapped my head around him actually taking her out of the tent. I've never faltered from that. It's just doesn't lady with a beard. Oh, there's a
We were
beard.
talking about that
Yeah,
before we came
tell.
on. Well,
Yeah,
I was just saying, we were talking last night, all of us here on the live, about how Cleo says it's a woman and we have to believe her, and that there wouldn't be a way that she would believe that it was a woman if there was a beard. And I was just telling Mar, thinking about it, there have been a lot of famous women in history, or just women in history in general, And I hate to say it this way, but even look at the past circuses where they would have bearded women. They were still women. I mean, it is what it is. People come in all different shapes and forms.
Girl, some days I love you to death, but some days I just can't with you and the bearded woman at the circus.
I
Reg-
mean, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying we can't say that he didn't go in there dressed as a woman and saying, I am a girl, I just have a beard.
I mean, I love you, Kenny. Don't get me wrong, but I just do not think that this man was going to grab a sleeping bag to steal and it happened to be a 40-pound 4-year-old inside. And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to go with it. No. I'm not faltering from the guy dresses up like in his grandma's clothes. You can't not convince me of that. And I'm also convinced that the reason why they know this is because of a camera with information that was found on the white phone. And Carrie, you're in timeout, girl. That stuff that you brought to us today, you had us in a rabbit hole that is going to be talked about tonight. Creepy
Vanilla
stuff.
says she has some news for us.
Who? Hi, Ghostface. What's your favorite scary movie? I'm starting to think I'm gonna have to watch like Psycho tonight. Yeah, she's traumatized, but could you? I do not see this man opening up two zippers, even though they're lubricated in Australia, to take out a child. I don't think there was anyone else in the house. I think that there was a camera in that room. I don't know who that is. We have a surprise in the room.
Do you know what we did last summer?
So, let's go back, guys. Let's watch the interview, just a couple minutes of it with Jake and Ellie. Because a lot of people, and I'm not thinking this is what's going on, I'm still trying to wrap my head around him wearing his grandma's panties, but what if she was passed out of the tent? My elderly cats. Where's Vanilla? Let's see what she says. So, did some work and discussion with some autistic adults and their parents, and the barefoot thing may not be cultural. It can actually be because of autism and the obsessive collecting of things. Interesting.
Kenny, what do you mean? Making things up because phone found maybe it's grandma.
No, we're not making things up, Kenny. There, in Cleo's mind, there was a woman involved. Okay, and I honestly think that this man was wearing his grandma's clothes and dressing up like a woman, and maybe the loss of his grandma, the feeling abandoned, the doll collection. I don't know what, Kenny, but I'm telling you, this guy has some serious mental issues.
And until they come out and tell us the full story, I think it's fair that people will speculate. And like we said last night, this is kind of like a little true crime study group. We're just bringing all of our theories to the tables and discussing.
Kenny, I'm not making things up. I'm just saying I honestly believe that he was the woman in Cleo's mind. It's what I honestly feel. I would pay money for the intel in that phone. Ah, I would pay money for the intel in that phone. Kenny, so you think Cleo just made up that there was a woman coming over and brushing her hair at 4 years old? I think he was running a camera. If you don't want to hear my idea, you definitely don't want to hear what Connick thinks he was doing. Kenny, I think he had footage running through the phone and he was watching Cleo when he was gone. He could have been putting it on the internet for a lot of people to watch. We don't know, but it's definitely a possibility. That I'm still not convinced about the tent. I've never been convinced that this man snuck into a tent and took out a child without being seen or heard.
And for
Tell
me,
Kenny.
whenever we were reading the article, the police definitively said, quote unquote, we have ruled out the potential that there was a woman brushing her hair. So for me, after that, seeing that they also follow it up with, but we're not ruling out that there were other people involved, somehow they know for fact. How do they know for a fact unless there was some sort of footage or somebody saw it? But nobody saw another woman. So at that point, you would have to tell me there's cameras somewhere in or around that property that the police would know for sure there was no woman in the house. I believe Cleo's perception of things, but I also have to look at the words the police use. And a lot of times it is reading between the lines, but they definitively said, and if Mar, you can get that article, it says verbatim.
I'm gonna
We've
pull it up
ruled
right
out
now. Let me find
that
it.
there was a woman.
Yeah, there is a new article out like
Can
9 hours
saw the
ago.
article with my eyes. We're gonna show you, I promise, and then we can rediscuss that.
Yeah, we don't want to argue. I just do not feel that there was a woman in that house. And I feel like, in my own opinion, now they're talking about the phone they have. And I think that there was, or they found the camera. He was probably watching her some way. That's just, everyone's allowed to have their opinion, Kenny. And that's just what I think. So there's this one. And this one's interesting too because now they're talking about the people in the neighborhood want to burn the alleged abductor's house to the ground. Did you hear that, Kenny? There's going to be a fire. There you go, girl. This is what we're going on, Kenny. Hey, Benson. We're not experts. We don't live in Australia, but we're just going off what they tell us.
Go in just a little closer. One of Western Australia's top cops has ruled out claims police are investigating a woman in relation to Cleo Smith's abduction. Deputy Police Commissioner Colonel Blanche said, asked about reports that a mystery woman was under investigation by detectives probing Terrence Kelly's alleged kidnapping of 4-year-old, unequivocally said, I can rule that out. When asked if police had ruled out a second person could have been involved, Mr. Blanche said, the investigation is ongoing and that's all I can say at this time. Pushed on the subject, Mr. Blanche, who had said the police would not be making further comment while the case was before the court, said, and then I can't see below that. My comment is I'm making no comment on the investigation of this. Deliberately, I've stepped away from the investigation, he said. I've left the task force Rodea team to conduct their investigation. As I said earlier, a man has been charged.
And Kenny, you're allowed to think that he was trying to steal the sleeping bag and Cleo was in it. I just do not believe. I think this man was way too much of a loner to let anyone see his little doll situation. I think he was a grandma's boy. That's my own opinion. Yeah. I'm not trying to tell you guys to believe what I think, but that's what I think. But the part that I am confused on is I still can't wrap my head around this man taking her out of the tent. Then I start thinking of all the rumors that Jake was owing a bill. But then what are the odds of a drug deal gone bad happening to be a man that has a doll collection? I can't figure it out.
Until they come out and say definitively one way or another, we aren't going to know for sure. But it does leave you asking a lot of questions, and I think that those questions are very fair in a situation like this to ask.
Oh, I think so too. I still don't see how he could have crept into that tent. I've been saying this from day one. I see him maybe acting like a grandma and missing his grandma, and maybe in his mind there's nothing wrong with that because of the way that she raised him. I'll show you the tent. It was a decent sized tent. It supposedly had like 2 rooms to it, right?
Yeah, it was a pretty good sized tent, but still, I'm not sure about that.
You can tell on my side thing I've been Cleo obsessed. I can't even wrap my head around any of it. Kenny, I'm just as confused though.
Kenny put a new comment if you want to grab that one.
Believe me, Kenny, I keep saying too, I pray, hey Mystical, I pray that there's a woman involved because it's even creepier that the guy is, getting his ideas from Norman Bates. I just don't feel that I don't feel there's a woman involved. I feel that he is the woman. He could have done it to make Cleo feel better or maybe his own little thing he has going on. I don't know. It's my own opinion now. But I have a problem with him taking her out of the tent. See, I wasn't going to call him out.
No, I think whenever we figure out where that sleeping bag is, that could fill in a lot of the blanks.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there could have been someone else involved to help getting her out or away, but I honestly think that person would have been arrested by now.
Yeah,
And
elderly cats. Did she ever see two people together, or was she just seeing one person at a time? That's an excellent question.
I don't have the answer to that question. I just think that they're trying to tell us that they're not saying there was not somebody else involved, but there was not somebody else combing her hair, is what I think that it is. Let's watch these two because I don't know. Just a couple minutes.
Did you feel like that moment was coming?
We held hope, but the hope of her being there was slowly slipping away.
In recent days, we've seen forensic officers pouring over your house. I mean, this is your family home. This is Cleo's home. How do you process that?
I guess we just hold hope that there's something there that they can find.
I don't know. It's just this is so weird. Maybe he's just camera shy.
Kara, if the neighbors saw him at the store, someone was either watching Cleo or he left her alone. But on the day that they found her, or the night they found her, she was left alone. So he could have left her.
Well, in that article too, it says that he went to the tab, and Cleo was alone at the house. Yes, Vanilla. When the taxi cab got him on the camera. I don't know. What would the odds be that this Jake did something for it? It reminds me of the movie we were talking earlier, Man on Fire.
So we can help the case.
Yeah, anything. I mean, if it's someone that's been watching for who knows how long.
Oh, he's watching. He's your Facebook friend.
Hopefully they pick something up that will help.
All right, Greg, what do you got?
Yeah, so she starts this one off with drawn corners to her mouth. And that drawn corners to your mouth, if you go back and you look at the thing we did.
We have to go now.
Right, once they confirmed the search and
Was
that she
done.
wasn't there.
Did you feel like that moment was coming?
We held hope.
I don't know. There's something off with this whole thing. Hey, Sherry. Maybe he's just camera shy. I'm going to have to think. But on Twitter last night, they're talking about Jake is going to be arrested. I don't know if I believe that. What do you think about that, Kenny? You think Jake is going to be arrested? What are your vibes when you watch Jake, guys, on this video? Like, that would be messed up if he did. Do you really think that it's like two things going to combine like the perfect storm? I don't see it.
Seems like a lot.
But I still don't see him taking her out of the tent. I just can't imagine. I can't envision that man opening up the tent and taking her. And
I mean,
why would you have your kid so close to the opening of the out of the tent where somebody could do that?
this could just be one of those situations where it's like Brian Laundrie's still alive. The stepdad was involved.
I'm not saying Jake was involved. I just find it weird how they're talking about him owing a drug debt. I do not think it's weird he leaves his eyebrow piercing in at all for anything, because that's the last thing you would probably think of. But he was kind of weird from the beginning. Then it's like maybe he's shy. Then you hear about the drug deals, and Cleo was passed out of the tent, and that's where the sleeping bag is. Like Jake got rid of it, and hey, Nita, I don't know. When, Angel? This was a while ago. This video was October 28th. I was just watching Jake again. Something's weird.
He does look like a child who's just gotten in trouble. But I don't know. I always feel like I need to play devil's advocate too at the same time, because what we perceive one way could be totally different from where they're sitting.
I get that. Let's see what else is going on. Let's listen to the I just wanted to see him again. Because now with all of the Twitter things that are coming out talking about like one person's like he's got a $750,000 debt with them. It's like the man on fire. We're gonna plan a kidnap and then we're gonna share the money. I don't know if I buy that, but then again, I still can't. I've been saying from day one the tent bothers me so much. I don't vision this man doing that. Something about him doesn't seem like he would be the ninja sneaky type. Or am I wrong? Uh-oh, Kenny, you want to come? Kenny's getting mad at me.
He said, "Bull."
You think he's got the kahunas to open the tent and take her out? Yeah, you do. You told me you think he stole the sleeping bag with her in it. Where's the sleeping bag? Kenny's getting mad.
But that's healthy though.
They probably tested them for drugs. I've said they don't look like they're on drugs to me, and I don't see them owing $750,000 in drugs. Oh, there you go. But Vanilla says, but if he did, one of his personalities could be sneaky enough.
That's funny, Mystical wrote. Very similar.
The DID. Yep, absolutely. I don't know. Maybe one of his personalities, like maybe he does, but let's hear. Let's go listen to. I want to hear about the sleeping bag, and I want to hear about the townies are going to burn down the house. Hey Kenny, when everything comes out over there, will they tell you, like the United States, like what they find out in the detail? Like if this guy decided he was going to go to court and they think he's actually sane, would they let you know what happened in court? He's indigenous. All right. I mean, I don't know the sleeping bag. Maybe the girl has it, but I honestly think that if there's someone else was involved, that they're probably smart enough to have figured that out by now.
Well, surely his phone would have some sort of, I don't know, they would have communicated or something.
Yeah, this is just saying that they're looking for, we're not going to read everything that it says. They're looking for the sleeping bag. But this is what I don't understand. A day earlier, gas mask wearing officers had sprayed the inside of the house with a forensic chemical that brings up latent fingerprints. Now that's new. That's actually kind of weird. So the stuff they were spraying was to pull up fingerprints. It's understood the officers will return to the home on Thursday, which is right now, right? It's Thursday
Yeah.
afternoon. It came to Deputy Police Commissioner Blanche squashed reports police were focusing on a mystery woman as part of their investigation into Cleo's abduction. Asked at a press conference about the reports, Mr. Blanche unequivocally said, I can rule that out. So let's hear about the locals now that are threatening to bomb the neighborhood. Fire bombs.
So hold on, before we go on, if they're
Hey,
looking
Fortnite.
if they're looking for fingerprints in that house and the neighbors have already said that he's a loner, an oddball, and he never really leaves his house or goes anywhere, that would to me make me feel like they're looking for kids prints, no?
Oh, you know, Kenny get mad because we throw out a lot of ideas, and it's not even conspiracy theory ideas. These are ideas that are completely true, and we've said it with the carpet when they pulled that carpet out, and we thought, "Gosh, how long has Grandma been gone? Could this be the only kid?" And then today, because Kara, you're in timeout, girl. Kara sends me a YouTube message. I started looking, and there's this guy that's got like 29 more mummy baby dolls in his house that he's stealing out of the graveyards. And I'm like, you know what? We're going to look at that too. You can't make it up. And you're grounded, Kara. And then Gain.
Yeah, I think that's it, the last one.
Yeah, you're grounded, Kara. Got us down these damn rabbit holes. Next thing you know, we're reading the book of the Japanese girl that was taken. What was that book called? And then it was, yeah, here, I'm going to get in trouble for laughing. What was that book called? Swallowed Me Whole?
Oh, geez. Like Eaters of Darkness or something. What was it? Let me look on my Google.
People Who Eat Darkness.
Yes.
Yeah. We're going to listen to that clip in 1 second. But next thing you know, so we go down that rabbit hole. And next thing you know, we are in Tokyo with a book called People Who Eat Darkness and the Evil That Swallowed Her Up. So I said, because I hadn't read anything, and I said, Connick, so what happened to her? And she's like, he ate her. And I'm like, oh, the evil that swallowed her up. Crazy. Crazy how you keep getting into these rabbit holes. I'm talking about this.
There's a
book,
documentary on this guy. It's pretty creepy if you want to go check it out later.
but we're going to talk about these guys at the end. Right now, we're going back into Cleo. I'm going to stay focused tonight. Right now, we're going to go in and listen to about the neighbors wanting to burn down the house. Burning down the house. I'm going to get in trouble for that, too. Yeah, Sherry, right? I'm going to mic down. It's absolutely crazy. Oh, there's more. I couldn't get over what Kara brought to the table. And I thought to myself, back to Cleo. Was Cleo the first one? Do you guys think that maybe, Kenny, you think that maybe he had a few other dolls there before he went and got Cleo? Hey, Tima. Why are they checking for fingerprints? And we're talking about fumigating the house. Like, when they put the tents over the house, even though they didn't put a tent over it. Back in the day when they tried to get the things out, the rodents and stuff. Remember you would drive by and the neighbor's house would be like under one of those big chemical tents?
Oh, yeah, when they bomb them.
Oh, you're too young. I'm not being rude, Fortnite kid. Shaking my head, this one. But they had to wear gas masks that they sprayed so much of that chemical. And I've never seen a show where they had to wear gas masks to look for fingerprints. Have you? I've seen a lot of crime shows.
I have not.
So what are they looking for? What kind of fingerprints?
I think children.
Yeah, me too. They took the carpet. He has the extra bed. He's got the doll room. I would pay to see pictures of the rest of the house. The blacked out windows. The grandma just died. He starts having brat doll situations. He might have always played with dolls with grandma. Like, who knows? And I'm not saying this to be mean or rude. I'm saying that this kid is not, you can't make it up. He's not playing with a full deck. Maybe the stench. Oh, I don't want to even think about that. But so I think they're looking for kids. Now we know why they were searching the streets for the garbage, which they wouldn't say until a couple days ago, for the sleeping bag, the campfire fires. But I still don't see him taking her out of the tent, as crazy as it is. And I don't want to believe Jake is involved, and I don't see Jake as owing a drug debt. But at the end of the day, I do not see him creeping in a tent and taking out a child.
I want to know how many little girls are missing from that area.
Maybe
Especially in the
maybe
Aboriginal community.
maybe Kenny can be the boots on the ground. We'll give him some money for petrol. Is it called petrol in Australia? All right, let's go listen to this, guys. I want to hear. I have not heard this yet. And hopefully, I will not have to fly to Australia.
The West Live. The West Live with Ben O'Shea.
The investigation into the abduction of Cleo Smith is showing no signs.
The West Live. The West Live with Ben O'Shea.
The the investigation into the abduction of Cleo Smith is showing no signs of slowing down. So let's cross to Carnarvon for the latest update. The West Australian's Brianna Dugan is up there. Good morning, Bri.
Morning, Ben. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So there's a lot of talk at the moment about little Cleo's sleeping bag. What can you tell us about that?
So, sources close to the investigation confirmed yesterday that the sleeping bag she was in while at the Blowholes has still not been found by police. The red and grey bag was deemed a critical item during the initial land search when she vanished on October 16, but at the moment remains unaccounted for. So police at the time of the land search urged motorists travelling along Northwest Coastal Highway to keep a lookout for the sleeping bag and scour through any rubbish bins on the side of the road. And they also, at the time, wadded through about 50 cubic metres of rubbish from Manilia to Geraldton, but there was and still is no sign of the sleeping bag.
Yeah, this is very interesting to me because I think, like a lot of people, I just assumed that the sleeping bag would be part of the evidence that they gathered from the accused man, Terence Kelly's house. It appears that that's not the case, but obviously police look at this as, you know, I guess somewhat of a smoking gun if they can find it. Yeah,
I think so. I think that they found Cleo, it's not as integral to the investigation if they hadn't found her, but they're still actively searching for it.
Yeah, just it's part of that that the police have spoken about quite a bit, of dotting those I's and crossing the T's. And now you've reported today in the newspaper that the neighbours of the accused man, Terence Kelly, have their own fears.
Yeah, that's correct. So neighbours are pretty scared that once forensic officers and the police guard leave the Tonkin Crescent home, it will be firebombed and burnt to the ground by angry locals. So one man who lives directly next door to Mr. Kelly is actually in the process of moving homes to avoid the potential angry mob of vigilantes that could come at any minute after police leave.
Oh, wow.
So he told the West Australian yesterday he was offered a new home after what allegedly happened next door. And, you know, locals are going around town saying that there have been plans and are plans to destroy the house once police leave, which is likely to be in the coming days. So pretty scary.
That's terrifying. And so just so we can get a sense of how close this neighbour is, my understanding is it's a duplex property. So are there adjoining walls or they're on the same block?
Yeah, so they have an adjoining wall straight down the middle, I guess, and they're pretty close. Like you'll be able to hear each other next door and stuff. So he's terrified.
Yeah, wow. So you can see why you'd want to move out. And talking to the locals, like I guess how realistic do you think it is that they will take matters into their own hands and take it out on Mr. Kelly's house?
To be honest, I really don't doubt it. A lot of people I've spoken to around town have plans and have ideas of what they're going to do, and they're pretty much going to do it before state housing comes in and demolishes the home. So if police leave like intended this weekend, I reckon by Saturday night, the house will be gone.
Yeah. Wow. So this is clearly an undercurrent of anger that this has happened within their community.
Yeah, it's definitely vigilantes just coming up trying to take matters into their own hands.
Well, it's still an allegation at this stage. No one has really had their day in court. But so we urge some cool heads if at all possible. And so where do you think the investigation is going to go now?
So forensic officers are returning back to Mr. Kelly's home today after spraying the entire house with a chemical that brings up latent fingerprints. They sprayed the house on Tuesday and had to wait until today to go back inside and see what evidence could potentially be uncovered. And then from there, it's believed the forensic side of things will wrap up today, if not by the end of the week, with police guard and the forensic tent leaving the home and locals to kind of fend for themselves.
And so I think that's a very interesting point that you make about the latent fingerprints, because the police have said they've really dismissed that theory about a mysterious woman being involved, but certainly going in there to look at fingerprints will give them an idea if there was anybody else who knew about it who might have been in the house when Cleo was there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they uncover with this, but police have ruled out the chance of anyone working with Mr. Kelly at the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, interesting to see. The West Australian's Brianna Dugan, thank you so much for sharing this information. It's still a story that so many people around the world are fascinated by. Thanks for joining us on The West Live.
No worries. Thanks, Ben.
The
So my rooster is starting to talk already. So they're just saying the mystery woman is ruled out. They could be lying to us. I don't know. Hi, Holly. But
Well, I hope the police get everything done before they leave that house the first time and don't have hopes of coming back, because it sounds like they're fully ready to erase this guy from their history.
that's sad, though.
Banishment.
That's sad. So now you've got the missing sleeping bag. You got people claiming that Jake passed her off for drugs. You got the Man on Fire movie going on. We've got the Norman Bates mom movie going on. Like, there's so much. I mean, I was still trying to wrap my head around who the woman was, and then there is no woman, and then the phone, and then I mean, I've never heard of spraying a place and going back 3 days later for fingerprints. That is mind blowing to me.
Kenny, I'm just so confused. I feel like you're very set on this, but I mean, we're just reading what we've got.
And we're talking about it. We're not saying that there's no woman involved. Believe me, I really pray that there was a woman involved and he wasn't dressing up like the lady. I mean, maybe he's not wearing his grandma's clothes, but do we have to go back and listen to the grandma again? Because after knowing what I think I know and listening to that, it's.
Ooh, Vanilla, hold on. Vanilla says relatives of the man accused of abducting Cleo say he was called Little Princess during his unusual upbringing.
Mm.
I mean, I wonder how long and how often she brushed his hair. It always goes back to that.
Yeah, so now we've got the missing sleeping bag. How did she get out of the tent? Did he have the big enough kahunas to get her out? Or can we add into the Jake situation, which I'm really kind of ruling Jake out? I want to rule Jake out. And then we've got Cleo talking about a lady in the house, and now the police say there is no mystery lady, and we know he left her alone there. She was found alone, and he was at that TV making bets, right?
That is right.
Now they're looking for the sleeping bag. They sprayed this man's house to where they had to come back 3 days later. I've never heard of that in my 22 years alive. Plus 22, and then maybe a year or so onto that. But I'm convinced that there was footage, there was video running that he could watch, even if he wasn't watching her in a weird way, but so he could see what was going on, why she was locked in that room. And you have to pray that's where the nappies came in play because there was no bathroom for her to use.
I mean, that's what my mind is letting me believe right now. I don't want to go down another road with the diaper thing.
Kenny, have you ever looked onto things like there's explain to Kenny now listen, Kenny, before we tell you what we found earlier, we're not saying this happened. We're saying that people that are into dolls and do things like this, they they have a weird thing in their mind. We don't know how they're wired because we can't make it up, but I'm gonna look for that article on News 9 real quick. Explain to them what you were talking about when you searched and what was on Facebook. I mean YouTube with the camera thing.
Yeah,
In a
so
really nice way.
I heard a conspiracy a few years ago that there were live cams on YouTube where you could just search in a keyword and there were live feed access to little girls just hanging out in rooms doing whatever, dressed in tank tops, doing their thing. But men go in here and they leave the most raunchy comments. And that's what it's for. It's for these men to go in and get their fill on what it is they're looking for, unfortunately. And so I just have to feel like there is a chance that there was a camera in there, and there is a chance that maybe he was watching it, but maybe he was sharing Sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit.
So if we're not even saying that's the case, we're putting out there what's out there. I'm not there yet, Holly. I'm clutching to the end of my 40s. Oh wait, I might have just crossed over. Kenny, we're not into this. We are just saying that we believe that the cops know a lot more of what went on in that room because he whether had a camera to watch her to make sure she was maybe safe or not doing something or whatever the reason. Do I think he was putting her on the net? No, because we know that the police said they checked for her on the dark web and they couldn't find her.
But on the other hand, I don't think that he would have been the type to do that because all of his dealings and all of his accounts and everything were right in the open on Instagram, on Facebook, and he's not the only person out there who's doing this. Like, I hate to say, but I've been doing a lot of searching into his accounts. I've been randomly looking for other weird stuff, and I've come across other pedophile rings in searching just this guy alone on Facebook that are happening right now. This stuff, unfortunately, we're not wired like this, so we can come here and talk about it and try to piece it together and make sense of it. But the reality is, there are
It's going on.
people like this out there. That's why there's a ring out in Missouri.
No, Kenny, we don't know.
It's bizarre, and we're just trying to wrap our mind around it.
But I think that there was a footage running to the phone, and he was watching, and that's what I think is going on with that. There's so many ways it could go, but I think that's how they are almost convinced that there was no woman in that house brushing her hair. And now you got the fingerprints all over being tested. Then you got the carpet being pulled out. You got the neighbors ready to burn the house down. No sleeping bag. And Jake supposedly is a drug addict because he has the ear piercing in his eyebrow. Yeah, they say they collected a phone, and they're just now talking about the phone within the last couple days. It was the phone that they're talking about. And also, like, they're just putting pieces of the puzzle together, the whole garbage thing. Now you got to work. Then we got the GoFundMe. That's a whole nother ballgame with that guy that's supposedly the drug dealer with the GoFundMe. I mean, it's just too much. I'm on the Australian 9 looking for the thing with the family. I don't see it, though.
You're saying it wasn't carpet, it was rugs?
Yeah, that's a carpet, right?
No, they didn't work side by side.
Who?
Jake and the doll collector.
Well, there was a GoFundMe made, and then on Twitter, the person said that the person that made the GoFundMe page was a friend of Jake's, and he was doing drugs. I'm going to find the picture of him. Then they said that, exactly did they say? The guy that made the GoFundMe was into drugs.
There was talk that there was some sort of drug debt. I don't know how much I believe of that, so I really took it with a grain of salt. We looked at the picture, and I don't know anything about drugs really to have seen anything myself with my own eyes on that table.
Yeah, I'm going to show the picture now. I don't see anything at all when I look at this picture.
But again, not drug users, so if y'all see something, please point it out.
So Bill Kent is the man that supposedly made the GoFundMe. I guess he's the one circled. He was also, the GoFundMe was shut down the day that Cleo was found, right?
An hour before it was announced.
The GoFundMe shut down. and it said that he wrote in the GoFundMe that Jake and Ellie wanted him to close it. And so they're trying to say that because of this picture and this being the guy in charge of the GoFundMe, that maybe Jake is doing drugs with that. I don't know. I don't know.
All I see is alcohol, but I don't I don't know what they're doing.
And Kaz said that that's a game with the toilet paper. I just see alcohol too. So that's what they were talking about. The GoFundMe, Jake owes money for drugs. Jake passed the kid off to the dog collector. It's just too much. I don't know. I can't just, the tent thing bothers me. Him dressing in his grandma's clothes really doesn't bother me because I think grandma spoiled him. Like she was saying, the mama's boy and the little princess boy. Like, do we need to listen to the grandma again?
Wouldn't hurt.
Let's listen to this again. Let's see if I can find grandma's little thing again. You're going to have to say something because I can't see chat and I have to look in my history.
Let me look and see what you guys are saying.
Like, what do you guys think? How many of you guys think that the man took Cleo out of the tent? I'm just curious. And I'm talking about Terrence Kelly.
I just don't know. I feel like the wind is definitely a good argument that they might not have heard it. But there are a lot of red flags for me still on that.
I want to know why they took the one off of YouTube. I'm going to have to go through my videos and re-find it and clip it again of the grandmother when she was talking. You can see her face. That's gone.
Vanilla says she found someone who claims to know him through the Bratz community. Are you looking at the Bratz community page?
Now that I would agree with that somebody knows him from the Bratz community because he was in there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. People were posting about it recently.
Hang on, I'm back on Twitter looking for grandma's a voice clip. And if anything's new. So did Kenny answer about the fact that they'll give us information as the case goes on?
I don't see an answer to that. I don't believe so.
I'm almost there. A lot of people think that Jake owes a drug debt.
I think we're going to need to show the picture of that tent again.
All right, one sec. And that creeper guy that tagged her, I just passed his picture from last night. Just people are weird.
Vanilla says they said in the picture they had of his doll collection there was a door behind one of the shelves. I'd be interested to see that. Not the door, but where you see that at.
I'm going to open it up one sec. I'm looking for grandma's the voice clip on Twitter. They took it off of Facebook, the one that shows her face. I wonder why. There's so much on her. But that one tweet today, does anyone really think that that big man went into that tent and took Cleo out? Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Kind of agree with you. And the whole thing about him being barefoot, I can see him being barefoot when he was arrested, but not being put on a plane barefoot. I don't understand that.
One of the comments, I think it might have been Vanilla, said that that might be an autism thing as well.
So how, if he, let's just say he was autistic, how would he have been able to pull off the tent thing unless maybe he does have different personalities?
I don't know that being autistic would make that harder. Honestly, it might make it easier. Knowing my son, he's very, very detail oriented and can pull off things I wouldn't even begin to understand how to do.
Oh, okay. That just takes a lot, man. That takes a lot of kahunas to do something like that. There's a lot of what ifs in this, like why the kids were in the front, why Jake wants to teach a 7-month-old how to swim in the ocean. And where's the sleeping bag? I think they took it off of Twitter too. That's absolutely horrible. But I have it on a video, but there's no way I can possibly find it. Let me look a little further.
Kenny says you don't get shoes in custody in Australia.
Oh.
So
Okay.
everyone's barefoot during transit and everything.
Interesting. Wow. So he's just in that prison with no shoes on. They don't even give you shoes when you get there? Not even like a pair of flip-flops?
See, in America, you're kind of like the responsibility is on the prison to make sure you're somewhat safe. So I don't know that they provide shoes, but I think you kind of need to have shoes in prison so you don't get something crazy.
Yeah. I don't, like, how would you just walk around a prison barefoot, like get your feet cut or something? Like here they give you shoes, right? Flip-flops or something?
Yeah, I think
Slides.
so. Yeah, slides usually. Like standard issue prison wear.
That's kind of weird. Like maybe we should start a fund for people in Australia prisons to get shoes.
Well, I think he's saying now they get flip-flops, no laces because he can hang himself. But he was totally barefoot.
Yeah, he was definitely barefoot. All right, I'm getting ready to give up. I really think that for some reason she's gone. Why would Grandma's not even, like, who put the grandma's voice up there? Where did that come from originally? Victims on crime. Oh, actually, my God, let me share my screen. This guy's not right. Just let me go to Twitter. Yeah, You cannot. Something just. This guy's not playing with a full deck. Am I the only one that finds this very strange? Weird.
He does have Michael Jackson vibes, huh? I think it's the hair.
Strange. I am so far down in the feed that I really wanted to hear Grandma one more time. Did I play her last night, Grandma?
I don't know if it was last night or the night before.
Yeah, I'm not gonna look for it. But I don't see Grandma. She's off of YouTube. The video is private and she's no longer. It's gone. Oh gosh. People are so okay. Jessica's mad. Does that look like the same person to you? I mean, honestly, does
I
that
mean,
look like the same person?
only thing I can think is we've been in COVID, so maybe he's been locked down, but I think that's kind of his normal, or maybe he has some sort of health condition. I don't
I
know.
didn't ask you that. I said, does that look like the same person?
No.
Filters, yeah. This guy's I think he needs to be in a mental hospital or definitely for a quick evaluation.
Yeah,
There's the man who was falsely accused. I just want to hear Grandma again. Ah, that lady had a lot to say. True crime has a lot to say. Cleo Smith's kidnapper. She's so cute. I don't know, guys. But when you listen to Grandma talk again, to me, I think that she gave little Terrence Kelly a lot of little lovies for losing her own kids, like she might have drowned him. I don't know. She drowned him in love, brushing his hair.
yeah, Holly, grandma is no longer around.
We can't assume that this was Kelly's first and only child abduction. Investigators will need to look back at other unsolved missing children cases. Kenny, what other children that age missing in that area? I gotta look at comments, but I just want to see. What is that?
I don't know where his dad is. His mom passed away from multiple sclerosis when he was younger, and he was raised by grandma.
Yeah, Grandma says all of this. And his beautiful black curly hair. I don't know. I guess it's gone, just like the YouTube one. Maybe it was a link to the YouTube one. Oh, okay, that's creepy.
Telling you.
I used to love Michael Jackson.
Since a very, very early age, he's frightened me for not the reasons that I guess a lot of people would think.
Yeah, but I go back with the Jackson vibe. I used to love Michael Jackson. I had his record. This is the best one right here. I love taking my dolls for a drive around and doing their hair and taking selfies in public. And look at the little doll face right up on his little chest.
I mean, I wonder if it's possible if he used these dolls to lure little girls to him.
Yeah, that whole fingerprint situation they've got going on there is just a little intense how they're doing it. Like just to literally wear a gas mask and spray the whole room and come back 3 days later. I've never heard of that. And they're getting a medal to recognize their part in saving Cleo. I think that's my husband in the middle right there. But I don't see it. Oh, here.
It's a tank top.
Let's open up the doll room. What are we looking for in the doll room? A secret hatch to the door?
I think Vanilla said someone posted about there being a secret door behind one of those shelves.
Well, let's have a look. But I don't
She
think
said there's a link, but I didn't see the link.
My goodness, Monkey, you're snoring loud tonight. Well, let's take out the corner room quick first and see.
They said in the picture he sent, there showed a door behind one of the shelves, she said. And Kenny said, in a duplex.
I see like in this left-hand corner that might be like an opening or a door, but like behind the shelves.
It could be a closet that he has blocked off. Oh, scrolling right there on that far shelf.
Let me open up both pictures. So hang on. Let me share my whole screen.
I think I actually might see a door frame.
Where?
Top left shelf. Go to the top.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there's the door frame.
I'm blind, but I'm not that blind.
That's because you're young. There's a door frame.
Thank you, Vanilla.
I mean, that just puts like a cherry on the creepy like banana split.
I mean, what's he blocking off? Is it? It could be a bathroom. It could be a closet.
Probably a bathroom.
What? How many things do you think there could be?
To make her wear the nappies. Oh, I can't.
What do you guys think is behind that door, behind that shelf?
And what is behind door number 1? Kenny, I don't, right?
It's not a window.
Can we get the build, like how we can look up an address here and get like the blueprint on how what it's built like? Can we find out? Hey, Kenny, can you find out if it's like a 2-bedroom, 2-bath duplex where he lives? Can you do a drive-by, or you don't live that close? I'm only kidding, Kenny. But can you find out what kind of inside it is there? Like if we wanted to know what about it, I would just call and say, is it 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or whatever? Well, this is in Australia. No, I didn't. Yeah, okay. So even if it's like a housing project, what was it, that housing place called? We can't look it up and see like what they offer to their
Tonkin Crescent.
Tonkin Crescent. Crescent Tonkin, one of those. TONKIN. And then like a crescent roll. You're right. I'm not looking to rent Vanilla. Cass said I can come stay with her for free in her extra room. Closer to Anthony Coletti, of course, so I would probably have to go there. Department of Housing. So you can't look up that Department of Housing on the website, and it doesn't explain to you what the like housing units have. A drive-by Anthony Coletti's. Little sea monkey grower. Hey, can I get some sea
Oh,
monkeys?
Lord. Vanilla says maybe he hid the kids in there while he had guests. See,
I
y'all
don't
know how to
think
things.
I'll loan you my tent. Let's look at the tent again for people that are like, we're going to look at their tent at the campground. But you know what else? I just forgot what I was going to say. I don't think it was to hide kids. Why? What makes me curious now is why would he block that door off? Because you can't block that door off and leave the room. Okay, that only excuse my French. That's 2 plus 2. Okay, so when the police got there, she was locked in a room playing with dolls, and the door had a lock on the outside, which is against the law in the housing there in Australia. They talk about the lock a lot. This is not made up. She was locked in that room. So what could that be? It could only be one of the 2 things, right? Either a door to the next door neighbor through the duplex, which I doubt,
I highly, highly doubt
a
that.
bathroom, or a closet. But now, because you see the bed, so obviously the little bed's there. She was locked in a room. So did he make her wear the nappies? And the door was blocked off to keep her out while he was going places so she wouldn't cause any problems. Well, maybe he planned on, we're going to get into that because I got about 15 more minutes, guys. We're going to go, how many of you think that they're checking that for other children's fingerprints? The whole spray the house down, wear a gas mask, and pray you live to be 25, 70, what you just inhaled. Yeah, I would think so too, Benton. Block a bathroom before a closet. I mean, it could just be a closet and he needed space for his doll shelf. I mean, it could be that. It could be really as simple as that. You know, at the end of the day, it could be.
Definitely.
A closet he didn't need. He would rather have his dolls showing. So. But it still is weird that there's a doll shelf in front of a door in the bedroom where Cleo was being held. All right, let's go talk about someone else. I think that's it on Cleo, though, right? Unfortunately, there's nothing else new. No sleeping bag.
I don't
Jake
think
might be a drug addict. He might be wearing his grandma's clothes, which I'm convinced he is. I am convinced that he is. I'm convinced that his grandmother spoiled him mentally in a weird way. Not like weird like that, but just babied him to the point where when grandma was gone, I think this guy lost his world. And I think he was trying maybe to, gosh, I can't wrap my head around when you try to explain why, but you can see him leaving the room and coming back like Norman Bates' mom. Can't make it up. Yeah, there is a bed in that room, Kara. It's the same bed that's outside, but it's not the same bed. 2 little black frames. Let me show you again.
Vanilla says police consider the mobile a vital piece of evidence in ongoing investigation, with a second phone seized at Kelly's duplex also of interest to cops. So 2 phones.
Yeah. Now, which one is the white phone? Because I've only heard about the white phone they keep talking about. Whenever those phones, I believe that those phones show an app or something to a camera. He was watching her while he left her alone. He couldn't have been that fixated and not watch what she was doing during the day. And I'm not even saying in a bad, saying like maybe in a weird way, like a grandma kind of way. Let me show the tent, their setup. It's weird he's got the shelf in front of there, but it could be room for his weird doll collection. That was their setup, their tent and their little hangout area. And you can see little Cleo's pink chair. And he crept into that tent. Was it one zipper, or did he have to go to two zippers, or were they in the front with the one zipper only?
Yeah, like a baby monitor, maybe.
Maybe, Kenny. Exactly, something like that. Nothing like high security, but like you can buy a camera and put the app on your phone and stick it outside right now with some super glue and just
Yeah,
monitor it.
when I had babies, it was so good that I could go to another portion of the house or even away from the house and I could speak to her through the app.
Yep. And just like the baby monitor that, Chris Watts had, just something simple that you can watch from a phone. And there's a lot of apps like that. Nanny cams, like they're cheap. You buy the little cam, you poke it in something, you watch it on the phone. All right, let's do one more refresh on Cleo on Twitter because this is about the time. So yeah, that's the tent that he broke into and took her out at 3:30 in the morning when he was seen leaving. That was when supposedly the car was seen leaving the blowholes, right? 3:30 a.m.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
What is going on with this justice for Cleo? Uh-oh. See, this is the one, this girl, Justice for Cleo, she is convinced. When I tell you convinced, she's convinced that Jake is a drug addict and owes debt. And he's going to be arrested any day now.
Are you sharing your screen because we see the tent?
Oh, shit. I'm sorry, guys. I am sharing my screen. Thank God for you. All right. Here we go. She's convinced that Jake is going to be arrested soon.
Ooh, Kenny says tonight 7 just said they are going to take us inside the home.
Kenny, can you record that? What time are they going? Like what time in Eastern time can oh shoot. Going on a field trip. Fingerprints, carpet, hidden doors behind bookshelves. It's like the little house of horrors. I don't blame the neighbors for wanting to burn it down, but can't the city just like take it down? Like they do to the house of horrors here? They just wreck them ball, boom, gone.
I don't know. I still wonder why they haven't tore down the Watts house, though.
H-Bird in the house. What time, Kenny? We know Kenny lives in the future. How you feeling, H-Bird? Yeah, it will be on, but it depends on what time they're going to show us. Tonight, 7 just said, well, tonight, so tonight's probably like 5 o'clock in the morning here. I think it's still in the afternoon there, like lunchtime, right?
And not only that, but it's if the website would even allow us to do it from, because you have a lot of spotty luck with Australian websites letting you watch things.
Well, we could watch it, but I don't think we're gonna be like. I'm probably gonna be sleeping while they're doing the walkthrough in the house tonight. If it's tonight in Australia, because that's the morning for me. Like even before, yeah, 1:15. So what time is the show on?
He said he missed that part, but he's gonna look.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's go look. Huh. Kenny and I are allowed to disagree. Everyone's allowed to disagree without chewing your face off. Wait, I think we actually missed something on the Perth Now article. Hang on a second. And it was another. Oh, okay, that was the firebomb one. I thought there were two podcasts that I wanted to listen to. Maybe not. Oh, I wanted to listen to Grandma, but we can't find her. I'm going to have to go make a single clip of that off my video and look through it. But let's talk about the one with the dolls in his house. What is his name?
Anatoly Mosckovin.
Yeah, let's end it with this character right here as we wait for new updates. But we will go through a walkthrough like if the walkthrough happens tonight while I'm sleeping and anyone misses it, I'm sure tomorrow I'll be live like let's go have a look at the dollhouse before the neighbors come and burn it down to the ground. Let me find this one. So drug dealers made the GoFundMe page. I still am not convinced that he took the girl alone out of the tent. I don't know why. I don't see him doing it. He doesn't have that ninja flavor to me. No ninja flavor. All right, this one. I think I'm going to show pictures of you guys. Well, you might want to give them a warning. I'm not even sure what kind of warning to give, but do you want to? I don't want to. I don't need. Like, I'm looking at it right now, and my face is already like
I'll read it, but I'm not looking at the pictures.
See, I'm laughing because it's not funny. The way she said that. You guys decide if you want to see some pictures. They're really not bad. They just look like dolls, if you want me to be honest with you. But this is Kara's fault. Everyone thank Kara for this.
Scroll in one more if you can, and then I will do this thing.
Kara. Say Kara 5 times in the mirror, and Anatoly Moscovin's going to come. All right, let me mic down.
Anatoly Mosckovin, Russian, born September 1st, 1966, is a Russian linguist, philologist, I'm not sure even what that is, historian, and Novgorod, who was arrested in 2011 after mummified bodies of 26 girls and women between ages 3 and 25 were discovered in his apartment. After exhuming the bodies from local cemeteries, Mosckovin mummified the bodies himself before dressing and posing themselves around his home. Moscovin's parents also shared the apartment with him, knew of the mummies, but mistook them for large dolls. A psychiatric evaluation determined that Mosckovin had suffered a form of paranoid schizophrenia. In May 2012, he was sentenced to court-ordered psychiatric evaluation and has since been held in a psychiatric hospital. Vladimir Strafin, I'm not even going to try, the head of investigative committee of Russia, called the case exceptional and unparalleled in modern forensics.
Okay, so then, yeah, right, Benson, like you got to explore, so then let me get into this article real quick because this one's a little more like they're not kind of holding back with, we just wanted to give you an idea So this is from November 7th, 2020. Oh, it's my favorite website in the whole wide world. Let me mute this site. It's already muted. Okay, so the first thing in this is warning graphic content. Let me get bigger. You might want to close your eyes. Wait a second. I don't know what's
Just
there.
tell me when you're not showing them anymore.
Okay, I don't even see a picture yet. Hang on. Here comes the picture, guys. You ready? Let me check. Oh, let me check chat. Stop. You're going to make me laugh, team. And people come in my comments and they're mean. You're laughing. I'm like, I'm laughing because it's so disturbing. Close your eyes. You guys ready to see the picture? You want to see it? To me, it looks like a doll. But I'm going to show you. So here it goes. If you don't want to see it, now is the time to turn away. And then I'll tell you. Huh. Yeah. If that's not creepy. Okay. So I'm just going to read a little. So how many kids was it? 26 or 29?
At first, when we were reading it, the wiki says 26, but as you were looking a little deeper, you got up to 29.
But like he applied lipstick and makeup to their faces, highly educated body snatcher, an expert on cemeteries, marked the birthday of each of his victims in his bedroom. His parents, who lived in the same flat in Russian City, I'm not even saying that, Novgorod, claimed
hold
to
on.
know nothing.
You didn't show them the pictures? They're all asking to see.
I showed you.
They said it didn't come on screen. I don't know. I wasn't looking.
Oh, okay. I'm not sharing. Okay, be ready. Oh, well, that was a mess. All right, guys, ready? It looks like a doll. Why does it even bother you? Okay, here we go. Close your eyes.
Because it's not a doll.
Oh, I'm going to show you guys more pictures after this article because this guy has dolls all over his house. Okay, you can look now. It's gone. Wait, it might be a delay. Count to 5. So he refused to apologize to the victim's parents as he attended a custody hearing. Efforts to be released from the psychiatric hospital to care for his elderly mother and live with his new girlfriend. Okay, close your eyes. I'm scrolling back past the doll picture. Are they closed?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, keep them closed. Let me make sure there's no more dolls. So that maybe it's like there's no way I can finish reading this article. I just can't pull it off. Okay, you might count to 5 and then open your eyes.
I know they might look like dolls, but I know they're not dolls, and I can read about this stuff and hear about it all day, but I don't.
Okay, let me make it bigger for you. Yeah, see, the pictures on this don't bother me for some reason because they look so dollish. Okay, here you go. There's no more doll pictures, I promise you. It's just a picture of him coming up.
These girls are girls, he said. There are no parents in my view. I don't know any of them. Besides, they buried their daughters, and this is where I believe their rights over them are finished. So no, I would not apologize. I warmed them up. Moscovin said that he wanted to become a teacher of English to children after an initiative by Vladimir Putin to boost foreign languages in school. In Soviet times, he worked as a translator for military intelligence in the Red Army and later wrote several history books. One medical commission has already recommended releasing Moscovin, asserting his schizophrenia has been treated, but this was overturned by a court. A judge last week renewed the detention in psychiatric hospital for another 6 months. Sorry, I won't speak about it, said Moscovin after the decision.
Okay, so he doesn't. Yeah, I don't think you can take care of schizophrenia. That's unacceptable. So, do you guys want to see pictures of this man's house and his dolls? I think that was really it. Oh wait. Oh no, it's not it, guys. Hang on. This is gonna be graphic warning. So, Trigger warning for sure right now. All right, girl, go ahead if you can read this.
Moskin was detained in 2011 and confessed to 44 counts of abusing Graves and girls aged 3 to 12. Previously, he had told the parents of his victims, "You abandoned your girls in the cold, and I brought them home and warmed them up." He is a sick person. The corpse of murder victim Olga C., age 10, was one of the 29 he dug up and turned into mummified dolls. Some with music boxes wedged in their chest. His mother, Natalia, 46, did not realize that on her regular visits to her daughter's graveside, the coffin was empty. She has opposed his release and said the creature brought fear, terror, and panic into my life with his grotesque abuse of the dead children. She called for him to be permanently locked up. I would be happy to know he spent his life in the hospital, she said. He is a sick person. From one side, it's not good to be happy about this. But it will give me the chance to put a gravestone on the plot of my daughter. She was buried unnamed to prevent him finding her grave again if he is released. Moskin's mother, Elvira, 77, said she didn't suspect the dolls were dead bodies. We saw these dolls, but we did not suspect that they were dead bodies inside, she said. We thought it was his hobby to make such big dolls and did not see anything wrong with it. She claimed the court was biased against her son, who was not able to be in society, work, or get married.
Please, you thought that was normal that your grown son had dolls all over the house. Lady, who are you kidding? Let's go look at the dolls. They're not, I think the article is worse than the images of the dolls. So I'm going to go look at the dolls. So you probably want to cover your eyes. Because I'm going straight to the images and I'm sharing my full screen.
Go for it.
Are you guys ready to see the pictures of his doll collection? If not, now's the time to click out. You got 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. I cannot see chat, guys.
Don't worry, I'm looking.
But I think that this is the little girl that I just spoke about in the article. Tell me if they want me to stop any work, because really, guys, I can't see chat. Let me blow it up a little bit. Yeah, it's a little strange. Oh, this is a little strange right there. Oh, yeah, that's just a little creepy.
A little?
Like, she's totally sitting in the corner. Like, yeah, that right there is creepy as anything.
But can you imagine? Wow. You turn them into, like, little music boxes.
This one right here is just the one that gets me. Unbelievable. So what Terrence Kelly is doing, I don't find it weird at all after looking at this stuff right here. I'm good. I'm good on dolls for a long time. Hang on, I'm still on the pictures. I'm gonna get off them real quick, but like I think that was his favorite little doll. My gosh, Monkey. And you know he's scary looking too. Is he the one that's out, or is that?
No, that is the one that we were talking about, the book from Japan.
The Japanese guy.
Yeah, I can never remember his name. Joji something.
That looks like a stuffed animal to me. I think the only positive thing of this story is I'm going to get off. You can look now. It's completely closed. I think the only positive thing to that crazy story was the fact, yeah, you're Mexican snoring up a storm. Little chunky monkey over here, like, yeah. So that to me is really bizarre. Check out Punky Brewster comes out. No, we were talking about them the other day. I refuse. And then she's telling me that people give fake births and stuff to those dolls. No, I'm good. And who was the other one that had a little thing like that?
Ed.
Yep, good old Ed. Let's look at one more thing, guys, and I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to check Twitter one more time, though, just to make sure.
Ed, aka Butcher of Plainfield, Mad Butcher.
Yeah, I think he more reminds me of the Texas Chainsaw Man. Little Snore Bear. Well, he was born in 1906. Wow. The Body Snatcher. But he was another one that used to like to take them, right? I can't handle reading this. I'm sorry, guys. I can't read it. I can look at the pictures of the dolls, but I can't just read it.
Edward Gein, also known as the Butcher of Plainfield or the Plainfield Ghoul, was an American convicted murderer and body snatcher. Gein's crimes committed around his hometown of Plainfield, Wisconsin, gathered widespread notoriety in 1957 after authorities discovered he had exhumed corpses from local graveyards and fashioned them into trophies and keepsakes from their bones and skin. Gein also confessed to killing 2 women, tavern owner Mary Hogan in 1954 and hardware store owner Bernice Warden in 1957. Gein was initially found unfit to stand trial and confined to a mental health facility. By 1968, he was judged competent to stand trial, and he was found guilty of the murder of Warden, but he was found legally insane and remanded to a psychiatric institution. He died at the Mendota Mental Health Institute of Respiratory Failure on July 26, 1984, age 77, and is buried next to his family in the Plainfield Cemetery in a now unmarked grave.
Do you think it's unmarked so the people of the family do not come to disturb his grave because of what he did? Like the way the mother put her baby into an unmarked grave so if he ever got out, he wouldn't find her? Like, how creepy is that?
Yeah, I think that happens with a lot of people.
Oh, Kara, stop. Put the lotion in the basket before you get the hose. Yeah, right, Punky? Just when you think you heard it all. You've got people that have baby doll collections. That's Kara's fault. That's all Kara. Get out of that rabbit hole, girl. I hear you. I hear you too. I have a cat on the left and a dog on the right. He's making a scene now and she's snoring up like a little bear hibernating. I hear you. I hear you. Shh. So, and listen, when we show, let me take this off the screen. When we show, like when we talk about these things, we're not saying it's any connection at all, but you have to understand that is what he's doing weird, or do you look and can you find something that is a little disturbing? And I think having 24 to 26 baby dolls in your house is a little disturbing, and he stole them from the cemetery. That was the only positive thing, is at least he took them from the cemetery and didn't take their lives to get his little doll collection. Who knows if we're going to find out if other kids are, maybe little Aboriginal babies are missing from that area, and maybe nobody really cared enough to dig as far as they dug for Cleo, which is wrong.
I was telling you that earlier. The first place I would be looking for missing children would be in that little Aboriginal community because, like you said, they don't get enough attention. Cops never go there. So what would they do if somebody went missing? Probably not a lot. Would they even communicate it to the police at that rate? I mean, this guy, he didn't really seem to go out too much. It would be easier to start close.
Yeah. Well, supposedly they're going to get the house burned to the ground, so I hope they get what they need out of it. And I guess they got the fingerprints, they got the rug, carpet, whatever you want to call it. So, what else? Let's go check Twitter one more time. Let me see what this justice for Cleo. She's convinced that Jake is guilty. Let's look at her page for a second. And then we were watching these two weird accounts that kept popping up, and she was fighting with them saying, "Are you being paid by the family?" Remember that, Connick?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, here we go. This is
This is
it.
the chicken one.
Yeah, this is the one. So, do you care about Cleo? You seem more worried with parents than Cleo. Replying to the sniper kitty. This is another rabbit hole. But then, has Jake been arrested yet? Has Jake been arrested yet? Never say never. The real suspects in the Cleo case won't even know what hit them. They are coming for you. Didn't Jake lose his job at Rio Tinto months ago? So you figure it out. Jake looks like a druggie. He didn't even have the respect for Cleo to take the face piercings off. Well, there it
I
is.
disagree with that very
I
much.
disagree too. That I don't agree with. See, it's just people are convinced the alleged abduction was amateurish. Kidnappers rarely think of the stage, as they believe they will always get away with their crimes. Too many episodes of NCIS. Some are sweating right now. The answers are still within the inner circle. The clue to finding Cleo alive or dead is within the inner family circle. See? Of course they do. Didn't this all work out nicely? I think Ellie loves the attention and thinks she will take advantage of whatever comes her way. This was and still is about money. I feel horrible for Cleo. So that's where they're talking about. Here's the Bill Kent started the fund for Cleo, says they are respected members of the community. He, however, forgot to hide his drugs on social media.
Hey, Kaz.
Hey, Kaz. So, oh, that's nice. People are sick. All right, let me go back and see if we have a new one on Cleo, and then I'm going to wrap it up. What in God? I don't even want to know what these people are doing anymore. 1 hour ago. Here she is again. No, she's just afraid of people seeing how she looks like a druggie. If she wanted privacy, she would make her page private. Instead, she deleted post joking she wanted to kill Jake. The sick thing about this world is so much is covered up. Terrence Kelly did not work alone. He isn't even the one who grabbed Cleo from her tent. She was handed to him. There was many people involved in this, not just this man. I don't know, guys. People are running every which way with it. And only time will tell what's the case. The only thing I am honestly convinced of is that he dressed up as a woman and brushed Cleo's hair, and it's something to do with the loss of his grandma and how she raised him. And I'm sticking to it.
And that's fair until we know right or wrong. It's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities.
How you feeling, Kaz? And I think there was a camera in that room. And now we see the door in the room. I don't look at Jake and see a druggie, though. I just don't. They don't look like druggies to me. What do you think, Kitty? Nah. No response from him. The cat that adopted me. I'm not even sure I even liked cats until he came around. Like 2 years ago. All right, anything else, guys?
Do you want to tell them about the movie?
Oh, we're going to watch Split on Sunday?
If you're not
On
in
Discord?
Discord, you should join.
Yeah, we're going to have a movie night Sunday. We're going to watch Split. I'm going to watch it in a whole new perspective. You got timed out, Kara? What?
How'd that happen?
I bet you're tired. Are you home or are you still in the hospital? You know what? My cat could have done it. My cat is literally sitting on my phone and now the chat's gone. So, did you time someone out, little kitty? Are you using the phone? Yeah, it could have been the cat. Oh. Alma comes in. Okay, let's just do it out of curiosity with the people that are listening here. Hey, Shredder. Hi, Elma. How many of you think that Terrence Kelly took Cleo out of the tent all by himself? He just waited till they went to bed. He opened up the tent and he took out the little girl. Do you think he took her out of the tent, Connick?
I'm so torn. I didn't originally feel that he did. But then they came and they said that he did. And so then my mind was blown. And I've been going back through other cases where it was like, oh, but there was no possible way it was anyone but the parents, and trying to figure that out. I don't know how to feel at this point.
Right.
Alma says the dingo did it.
And then about the woman being in the house, I'm convinced there was no woman. As far as Jake owing a drug debt and putting that little girl up, gosh, the whole thing is just like a long rabbit hole. Going to be interesting though, especially to find out if they mentioned the fingerprints in the carpet. Because I've never heard of spraying a room and coming back to lift the prints 3 days later.
I feel like if Jake did have something to do with handing her off, it would put a lot of pieces together, but I don't want to say he did, and that's not the case.
A lot of people think that Jake handed Cleo off. I've never been convinced that he was able to, he had the big enough kahunas to take that kid out of a tent. I just don't see him creeping up there. He doesn't look like he's too, I don't know, it just doesn't, that part doesn't make sense to me. And the sleeping bag now missing. You would think that he would have it, right? Or he would have gotten rid of it on the way home. They checked everywhere.
Yeah, where could that possibly be?
And we got a hidden door in the bedroom. Yeah, I'm going to, Kenny, because that's interesting. Because they sprayed the entire house. They went in with full gas masks. They sprayed it from top to bottom. and they said they had to wait 3 days to come back to lift the prints. And wasn't that wasn't that today or was that yesterday there?
Yesterday, our time.
You living in the future, Kenny, confuses me with the time difference. You got the winning lottery numbers, Kenny?
We don't know what kind of spray then. That's what we were all
agree. I agree, Kaz. I'm on that 100%. I'm not even going to falter how I feel about that. It makes me want to watch the movie Psycho. I agree. We just watched that in the beginning. We watched Jake and Ellie a little bit in the beginning because he was so. It was almost like she was looking at him. I don't. It's just I can't piece the whole how she got out of the tent together in my mind. It honestly makes more sense if she was passed from the tent, because that would take some really big kahunas. And as big as he is, Terrence Kelly, he doesn't look like he's got the really big kahunas. And then we got into the split personality. Maybe a DID did it. I don't know, guys. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. When I wake up in the morning, I'm sure the days will be out from today. Yeah, I get it, Kenny. But it's just weird to spray like the inside of the whole entire house, because I think they're looking for other children's fingerprints. Sadly to say, but we've always said, was Cleo the first one? Something to think about, guys.
A lot to think about.
All right, Kenny, you have a nice day in Australia. Kaz, feel good. Did Kaz say she was home or not?
Yes, she is home.
Okay, yay. And I think that's it. We got to pray that he wasn't turning into, thank God Cleo wasn't going to be a little mummified baby in the corner. Can't make it up. So, now I guess we wait to see if Jake gets arrested, because this woman's convinced on Twitter that he had something to do with it. So on that note, Iconic, thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone, thank you for coming in. Have a good night, guys. Stay vigilant and keep your babies safe. And what Hummingbird always says. And on that note, I think I'm going to go watch Psycho, and I'll talk to you guys later. Night, night, all.